Welcome back to Age of Strife, everybody. So, the door gets kicked open, pushed open. The sheriff of the town walks in and yells out, "All right, everybody, keep your hands where I can see them. Nobody make a move."
I look over and I point to the kitchen. I assume he recognizes me.
He recognizes you. He gives you a nod and moves towards the kitchen. The three PCs following behind him, I take it?
Yeah, me and Jonathan got crossbows ready.
I look around before I move in. How is everybody responding? Does anybody look defensive?
I think everyone looks defensive and scared. I mean, you just busted into the bar with crossbows drawn and the sheriff.
Is anybody looking froggy, like they're gonna jump up and try to do anything?
Give me a charisma roll.
Okay. It's 15.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking sketchy folks all over the place.
Okay,
Everyone looks really nervous, like they are about to jump up or freak out. Like everyone is on edge.
Okay, as the others move towards the kitchen, I kind of want to be telling in the back, and I kind of want to keep my crossbow kind of pointed towards everybody, and if anyone tries to get up, I'll yell at them and tell them to sit down.
All right. Radder, do you stay at the bar?
I'm going to follow the same as Jonathan, stand next to him with the crossbow pointing, covering at everyone.
The
Just I know what I'm doing.
move past me to get to the kitchen door, right?
If you take a look at the map, the kitchen is the other way. He doesn't have to, he sort of has to move past you, but not exactly.
Yeah. Well, once he gets to the bar, I'll stand up and go in right behind him.
All right, and Torin, where are you going?
I'm going to be right next to the sheriff. Once I work out where everyone's pointing.
Yeah, actually,
my
Torin
one
can
eye.
be in front of me. I'll hide behind his 18 speed.
Yeah,
All right.
I intend to be charging through.
Yeah.
The sheriff goes to the kitchen, throws open the kitchen door, steps through. Torin and Radrick, you're right behind him. There's a small door on the kitchen that leads out to the main street. There's a chef in the kitchen who's looking bewildered, and a couple of serving hands who are freaking out a little bit now that the sheriff is in here with his cudgel raised in the air, followed by what looks to be a heavily armed man. The sheriff looks around and goes, "Man, where'd they go? Man with the blue beard." The chef awkwardly points out the door. The sheriff moves through, opens it, looks down the alleyway or the street, turns around and looks back at you, and shakes his head.
Damn. Well, there goes that.
Is the bartender still in here?
Yes.
I tell the sheriff, get the bartender. I feel like if they're hanging out in her kitchen, she probably knows something about them.
The sheriff heads over, grabs the bartender, pushes her up against a wall, and starts to interrogate her in the middle of the bar.
Oh god, maybe that was more violent than I wanted, but okay.
Everyone's watching, listening. The crossbows are still up and pointed. The bartender ekes out this story about, some new people having come around and started pushing their weight around town or around the bar and making demands, and she couldn't stand up against them, so they come through the kitchen when they want, they go where they want, they order and often don't pay for their food, and when I ask them to pay their bills, they threaten to smash the place to bits. So
While this is happening, by the way, I go to the front door and I just stand in front of it.
Okay.
Make sure no one leaves.
I lower my crossbow and I walk over to where the sheriff is holding her up. As he's holding her up, I begin to speak. My mother is blind because of the men that you have helped. Give me one reason why I should not gouge out your eyes and you be disfigured like my mother.
I didn't help them. They forced
I
their way
have
in
legal
here.
right now to gouge out your eyes.
Oh God, please take mercy.
I suggest you give us something more valuable than they're throwing their weight around.
I
Somebody's losing their eyes for this.
There's 8 of them. There's 8 of them. A man, the man with the blue beard, and the leader of the group, who's the woman, and then they've got 6 other people that come around with them. They're all men.
I lean in towards her. You're aiding witches.
What? No, I'm a victim.
Where can they be found?
I don't know.
I turn to the tavern with my crossbow still drawn. Where can these men be found? Pointing it at everybody. There is reward for whoever speaks up. Well, I guess somebody's losing their eyes tonight. Sheriff, bring that lady back to your station, please.
The sheriff pulls out his manacles, slaps them on her hands behind her, in front of her, and starts to drag her out of the tavern. She starts protesting, but there's no one to tend the bar! Everything will be stolen! The sheriff drags her out anyway.
Yeah, when Jonathan made that offer, was there anyone that looked away or really just looked away?
Kind of, but like anytime you make eye contact with someone, there's like a 50-50 chance they look away. Everyone is very intimidated by the 4 nobles and the sheriff busting down the door, threatening them with crossbows and beatings.
So no one, obviously.
No, there's nothing that stood out as like, I know something, I'm trying to hide it. It's mostly just terrified townsfolk.
All right, cool.
All right, you guys head out, and the sheriff starts dragging the bartender, I should say, back to his station.
As we're going, I say to the sheriff, if the drowned rat, if they've met at their home, they're most likely close by the area. Be a good idea to have your men canvass the area more thoroughly.
Already out searching the city. When they come back, I can tell them to look around here, but we're pretty short on men.
Make sure that no one leaves the city.
I've got 2 guards on each gate.
Make sure they don't get out by boat as well.
The portcullises are up. I can put a guard on each wheel, but that leaves me with only 8 men, and they have to sleep sometime.
Well, can you get more men?
No, hold on. That only leaves me with 6 men. We only have... Look, it's me and 12 guards trying to keep civilization going in this city. It's hard to do it.
Well, just bar anyone from entering and leaving, and the guards won't have to be at the gates.
As we're heading back to the sheriff's station, I say to the lady as she's in the manacles, if you have any more information, now might be the time to speak up.
God, I don't know anything. They came in. They pushed the way around.
Something more?
Jonathan,
they don't pay the food.
I believe you're being a bit too harsh.
Is there someone that would know a bit more, woman?
There was someone they were talking to yesterday. This morning? Yesterday? Last night. Late last night, there was someone they were talking to. I saw him talking to the woman of the group, the leader of the group. He was. Oops.
Right, during this time, before they all head out, I'd like to go have a look in the kitchen of the drowned rat.
In the kitchen is a cook and what looks to be like 2 waitresses or waiters, serving staff.
Yeah, I point my crossbow at them, give them like proper evils, like, and then turn back unless there's anything that really stands out in the kitchen.
No. One of the serving girls goes to, having seen the bartender get arrested, goes and takes the lock box from behind the bar and goes to lock it up with a proper lock and try and secure the bar as best as possible. Meanwhile, the bartender's telling you there was a woman, actually. The leader of, I think they call themselves the Long Claw gang. The leader of the Long Claw gang. She was talking to a woman last night in the Drowned Rat. The woman was she had a long gray wool cloak on. I only noticed she was a woman because she had fantastic boots. Thank God you guys aren't gonna kill me. No, I saw her face. I hadn't seen the woman before, or maybe I had, but I don't remember her. They talked for a very short period of time, and then the other woman left.
And this other man? Have you seen him before? What can you tell us of him?
No.
What color was this lady's hair? Blonde hair. Any more physical description on her?
Long gray cloak. I barely saw the blonde hair from the front.
Very well.
Let's see, black pants, brown boots. I can't remember the color of the shirt. It was blocked. Gray cloak, woolen gray cloak.
Did you ever hear anyone speak the man with the blue beard's name?
His name is Zane. The leader of the group's name is starts with an R. It's Rhea. She's in charge.
And who is she? Is she the blonde woman?
No. She's Zane.
She's the woman
Zane's,
with black hair and strong eyes.
She's Zane's wife, or I guess Zane is her boyfriend or husband or partner. I don't know the relationship, but the two of them are an item. She's in charge. She's kind of her second in command. The other 6 are, thugs.
Indeed.
But I've been helpful. Please, will you let me go?
Out of character, Neil. Do we know? Are we aware that wizards need spellbooks?
I think out of.
I've found out that information.
Let me put it this way. The magic that we're going to be using for this is not necessarily following this 2E rule system.
Okay.
So you guys can kind of throw out everything that you know about magic and consider it this wild, unknown thing. It will not be following the 2E rules.
We did find out from Henry that, or I found out from Henry that casters do sometimes put their spells into spellbooks.
There you go.
Okay.
However, I haven't told you that. All right. So, what relation would they have with the Longclaw gang?
Who?
You said that they met with the Longclaw gang?
No, they are the Longclaw gang. Zane and Rhea are the Longclaw gang, and with the 6 other thugs. But please, you have to let me go back to my tavern. Everything will be stolen by the time if you don't let me go. Please.
I'm gonna.
I haven't done anything wrong.
I'm gonna get up close to her and just put my arm on her shoulder and say, "Nothing's gonna get stolen. Your employees are really good." But just before I left, they locked the lockbox and closed the tavern.
I believe this woman has been helpful.
I believe this woman too. Sheriff, I think we should let her go. I don't think she has any more information.
We don't want to be making enemies. Not when we don't have to.
Sheriff looks at her deeply.
Take an eye from her, Sheriff.
No.
I still think she should stay locked for the night at least.
For what purpose?
Aiding and abetting a criminal. Guilty by association.
That serves no purpose. We need to refocus on the mission. On.
You're right, my elder brother. On my head. Let her go, Sheriff.
The sheriff unlocks her hands, but roughs her up a little bit. Lets her know that she needs to stay in line and be more forthcoming with information in the future. If someone sketchy is doing something he ought to know, she shouldn't be keeping that information to herself.
Spit on the ground in front of her.
She runs. Okay.
Is there anybody just standing around in the area? I assume they just all got out of here because there's some stuff going down, and they're like, nope.
As you guys start to look around, you see plenty of commoners watching this altercation from afar, and as you start looking towards them, they start looking away and, talking to themselves and trying to feign, like they were out doing something else to begin with.
I kind of loudly say, anyone with information on this blue-bearded man named Zane will be rewarded if they're forthcoming with it. Very nicely rewarded.
Here. Oh yeah. A poor boy kind of comes up. His shoes have big holes in them. His clothes are thin. Got patches sewn into his knees and elbows. Patches on top of patches on top of patches. He's young, maybe 9 years old. Big, sad eyes.
I crouch down when he comes up to put myself kind of more at eye level. I said, "What do you know, son?"
I saw the Bluebeard man over in the slums.
In the slums, you say? Do you know what building he may have been in? You do.
I saw him go into a building there once.
And I turn to the sheriff and say, "Should we investigate now?"
He nods.
Okay. Well, do you know anything else, son?
Shakes his head.
Well, thank you. And
Are you lying to us, boy?
I hand him a gold and say, and I guess we can go. Are you lying to us first?
The slums, Neil, is that where me and my character and Amy spent the morning?
These are the slums right here.
Okay.
Boy, before you go, perhaps you could lead us to where you saw him.
He nods.
It's a rather large area.
He nods and starts to lead you through to the slums. So you guys are. By the time you guys were having that conversation, you guys were over here. The boy leads you across the burned out area over and starts leading you into the slums a bit, and then points down this road to the house at the end of it.
Okay, while we're heading there, I strap my shield to my arm.
Okay. He points to the house at the end, and then when it seems like you have all acknowledged that's the house, he scampers off.
Well, shall we check for a back entrance this time? Perhaps something my eyes fail me.
Jonathan, didn't you say you wanted to burn down a building today?
Yes.
Hold on.
Shall we burn the building down?
We need to know what's inside. This could be where he is, or it could be where he's storing what was stolen. It could be anything.
Indeed. We should head in. But be ready.
Very carefully.
I'm hesitant to do this.
Why is that? You're hesitant to find out the location of the one?
We know there's 8 of them. There is 5 of us.
Indeed.
What would you suggest?
Maybe wait a few hours. Wait until the middle of the night.
I think
that would also give us time to gather up more of the sheriff's men.
And I think also, if we keep eyes on, that might be a good thing.
If they're in there, they could escape while we're waiting.
If this is where they dwell, then they should be here in the middle of the night.
Well, not after seeing us walk right up to the door.
Yeah, you guys are in the slums, and pretty obvious. 4 nobles and the sheriff hanging out around here. Anyone that's gonna spot, this is going to be the talk of the town. Word travels pretty quickly about law and nobility in the town. You can be certain that everyone in this neighborhood will know that you guys came through and were looking at that particular house within a matter of hours.
Okay,
Sheriff,
very well.
Would you have a guard nearby?
You guys lead the way.
All right. The sheriff goes up to the door and tries to knock it down with a good firm kick. open doors check is... What is the sheriff's strength?
He's like.
Oh,
18.
hell yeah. The sheriff busts the door down with a solid kick. Club out. It's dark now. The sun is setting, so it's quite dim. Sheriff looks around the room. It's a single-room house. And steps back out, shaking his head. And motions for you guys to come in. It's pretty dim in here. The only light is that of the setting sun coming in through the open door. But the sheriff points his cudgel to a body on the floor.
Oh.
There is a person there. A man, maybe in his 30s or something. Looks like he's been dead a day or two. You can kind of smell it already. Well, pretty well.
Establishing territory or taking ownership?
Well, I start searching the room, looking. I don't know what. Are there storage? Is there storage anywhere where something might be
Yeah,
hidden?
there's like cupboards and chests.
Okay, I go open all that. Kind of toss the room.
I go to the door to kind of stand guard to look out in the street.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
going
stay
to approach the sheriff and just like tap him on the side, like, do you know who this man here is on the floor? The
Sheriff
dead
shakes
guy?
his head. No.
No? Because clearly someone's hiding a murder here, right, Sheriff?
Or the owner is murdered. Could be this guy's house.
How did he die?
Oh,
Should we
yeah.
Inspect him?
So you go to inspect the body.
Yeah.
There's no stab wounds anywhere on him.
Or maybe he just fell down dead?
That's too much of a coincidence.
As they're investigating it, I turn to them, overhearing the conversation. Dark sorcery, indeed. Dark sorcery.
Could be.
A man who can blind somebody. A man who can kill somebody without causing any wounds.
But for what purpose?
I don't know. It sounds like we have a full-blown warlock on our hands.
Is there any other exits? Is there a...
No, it's just the one door. There's a window. It's
No
wide
trap
open.
doors or anything silly like that.
No. I mean, this... I called it a house. You should really think of it as a shack.
Okay.
It's a better word for it.
I know what you mean. It's the one
Chef, you said you
one
sent
house
for the count.
people live in.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jonathan?
You said you sent for...
Did he freeze?
Yeah.
Rose with a mean look on his face. All right, so someone else take over. He'll eventually just DC and reconnect, hopefully.
All right, I'm gonna approach the dead person and just check their body, see what they have on them at the time.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like lint in the pockets is all the corpse has.
And the house, the room, does that have anything in it?
Radrick's been searching the house. It's got, some crappy bowls, some wooden silverware. Ooh. Fun. It's pretty paltry.
Okay.
Is there any signs of recent activity in the house? Like meals being cooked or anything like that?
No. The house... No.
It appears we're at a dead end.
Hey, he's back. Great.
Indeed.
You guys there?
Yes, can you hear us?
Sorry about that, yeah.
No worries. What were you saying, Jonathan?
Sheriff, you said you sent for the count.
The Countess is gone. She went to attend the King's coronation. She won't be back for a few more weeks.
I think we may be a bit in over our heads. If we're dealing with a full-blown warlock, maybe we're underestimating this. A man who can cause blindness, a man who can kill without inflicting wounds.
Well, the Countess won't be back for a while, and she took most of her men with her. We wait for her to return, I'm sure he'll be gone. Are you suggesting we abdicate our responsibility?
No, of course not.
Not at all.
We should certainly try to balance the risk by being careful. It appears that at the moment we're at a dead end. We need to think of another way around this. It is possible that others may have known some more, but I don't know if that will gain us anything relevant as to their current location. They're probably not going to be going back to the tavern.
Well,
Go to ground.
yes, I believe our best option for now is to have the guards canvass the area and see if they dig anything up.
And while it pains me to ask, perhaps, Amy, you could find out if there's anything about the Iron Claw gang. So
Yes.
we know.
We have some
Started the
people
drowned
looking into it.
rats.
Well, what's the problem with that? I can do that.
Very well. The problem is if any harm came to you at the moment, that would be painful. But perhaps we are desperate enough.
Well, my men won't be back for a little while. Most of them are guarding the walls. And some of them need to get sleep in order to watch the walls tomorrow. I think it's really up to the 5 of us right now.
Well, it would be dangerous to go one by one canvassing.
Dangerous in this part of town?
And as a group, it would be painfully slow.
Well, why don't we go, you two of you split off into a group of 2, another group of 2. I can go on my own. I don't fear this riffraff.
Very well. Perhaps we can go street by street together as a collective. That way we won't be too far separated.
Indeed. Maybe go down the
I
street
think it
together.
is the best ideal to separate.
Yes, we should stay close together, but
These are not
Try to-
normal riffraff we are dealing with, Mayor. We are dealing with a warlock.
Maybe, but the people in this neighborhood are peasants, commoners.
It's not the peasants and the commoners I'm fearful for. It's a
Fair
man
enough.
who can blind me and kill me without inflicting a wound.
Fair enough.
At the moment, it does seem though that haste is required.
Well,
Our window falls short.
the sheriff just exits and goes to the very next house over, this one up here, and starts pounding on the door.
I'm going to go to the next house after that.
Okay. Can I get a charisma check from everyone in the party?
wow.
6.
Wow.
33.
We're good.
Jesus.
We all smashed it.
Everybody loves us.
All right, so you guys start moving around, making your pleas. You all passed, so let's just see who does it.
Polite demands. Neil.
Right. Radrick, you are. Who are you partnered with? If you guys are going in groups of 2.
I think I'll stay with Tauren at this point.
Okay. So Radrick and Jonathan, you guys are knocking on a door, asking if anyone's seen the Long Claw gang or this man with a blue beard. And the people you're talking to are pretty terrified. You know, everyone in this neighborhood has seen you guys walking around, kicking open doors, and talking to people. The person you're talking to is a young mother holding her babe in her arm. She's a little wide-eyed. Especially Jonathan's given her, you know, the I'm gonna burn you at the front. Yeah, he's given her the I'm gonna burn you at the stake sort of look, and a little bit nervous, and goes, yeah, they've been extracting protection money around town recently.
You say they've been extracting protection money. How often do they come around?
Once a week or so.
Any particular day?
She shakes her head.
Do you know where they come from or where they hang around?
She shakes her head a little bit. I don't. This has been their new section of territory out here.
Who is it that comes to see you? Is it someone different every time? Is it random?
Just a couple of their enforcers.
I see.
I don't know their names.
Neither of them are a beautiful dark-haired woman or have a blue beard.
No, but I've seen her, Rhea, up by the
Where have
fish
you
market.
seen
She hangs out on the dock, the western dock, far west dock.
Just standing around in the fish market or any specific place do you see her?
I don't know. I don't pay her too much mind, but I've seen her talking to people out on the western dock.
Oh.
All right.
This is great. Thank you, my lady. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Please don't say anything that I
You
said.
are
anything.
fine. You are fine.
We don't even know your name.
All right. She shuts the door hurriedly. What happens next? Do you continue canvassing, or are you going to change your plan?
Uncle,
Well-
I believe this information is great. Amy has some friends, and I have paid them to be my eyes and my ears on the street. When we run into these friends again, maybe with a little bit of money, we can pay them to find these individuals when they go around collecting money, follow them, and find out where they are staying. It may not be a quick job, but I think it would be a smart job.
My only worry is that they may have gone to ground after all this commotion.
I don't think that they will pass on the protection money. If anything, we might have stirred even more the need for the protection money by going into that tavern and roughing up the tavern keep as we did.
You may be right. So after canvassing the area a bit more, we should head to the fish market and see if anything's going on there before we do anything else.
So a lot of you canvass the neighborhood for a little while. Eventually, you all reconvene, having searched the slums and found no new information.
It seems like everyone is tight-lipped around here.
Brother,
Or-
sister.
That's what you
Okay,
can expect
that's
from these
okay.
sorts of folk, says the sheriff.
Uncle Radrick and I may have stumbled across some valuable information that may lead us to an end to this. I don't think it will be a quick end. I don't think it will be an end tonight, but I think it will be a smart end. We encountered a woman who informed us that this gang, this Longclaw gang, they send around enforcers that collect money from the peasants, and this money is protection money. It's the same couple of individual every week. We get some eyes and some ears on the street when these individuals come through, have our eyes and our ears follow these individuals and find out where they are staying. And then once we know where they are staying, we strike.
Yes.
You can then have
We've
some-
also learned that the leader, Rhea, I believe her name is, has been seen at the fish market just north of us.
I'm gonna approach Jonathan and quietly say to you, brother, what is the chance that maybe one of my little children could join up with their gang? Are they into that?
I think that would be genius.
I don't think they're in the business of accepting children.
Yes, and that would put them under too much danger, and it does not serve as our purpose.
If you
Or
have any
location.
burly man friends, then maybe they
I
can join.
I look to Amy. I look to Amy and I wink, and as I wink, I say, I think our brother and our uncle is right. We should not get them involved.
Completely right. Completely.
What we need from them is information about their location. Apart from that, anything more does not help our cause.
They should be our eyes and ears, but not get too close.
Regardless, perhaps it might be worthwhile just sauntering down to the fish market before we finish up.
I agree. maybe.
I think that would be a good idea. Let us saunter down there.
Okay. You guys head down to the fish market, but at this time of night, it's pretty much empty. The sun has already set. There's no light source save for the stars and the moon in the sky. It looks pretty deserted, pretty desolate. The docks are empty, just boats bobbing in the waves. You look around for a little while, but it is a fruitless endeavor.
Are these big buildings down over there? Are those warehouses or?
Warehouses are going to be yellow colored.
Okay, so those big buildings are just houses.
Yeah.
Fish docks. Are there buildings on the docks, or are they just docks?
No buildings on the docks.
Okay.
While they have a look around, I'm gonna pull Jonathan aside and make sure to be very quiet about this. I say, Brother Jonathan, I have a genius idea.
Do share.
Well, I need your help specifically. Well, you know how their gang is going around asking for protection money?
Yes.
Well, all you have to do is pretend to be their gang and get to them and ask them for the protection money before their other gang arrive for it. And then, you see, when their gang arrive for the protection money, the business owners will get confused and be like, "I've already paid," and then we'll have like a conflict, and we'll know exactly what it is, and then we can
I think that's a great idea, but maybe I shouldn't be the one to do it. I think
anyone, as long as they look the part, it works.
Yes.
Maybe Uncle Radrick, if he's sober.
I don't know how Uncle Radrick would feel about impersonating a gang member and taking people's money. Maybe your friends, Jack and Jess, may know someone appropriate.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
I think we need to be careful about our shady dealings.
I was just thinking if we undermine their business, it'll bring them out of the ground, and then we'll see where they pop up.
Yes.
All right. So with it being a fruitless endeavor, I'd say we'll probably split there and head back. Unless you want to do anything.
All right,
As we're heading back, I'm staring up to the stars, trying to read the stars to gain any information I can.
Are you making an astrology check?
Yes.
All right. What is the question that you are asking?
How specific does the question need to be, Neil?
Wherever it says in the player's handbook. Let's see. Astrology. Knowing the birth date and time of any person, the astrologer can study the stars and celestial events and then prepare a forecast of the future for that person. The astrologer's insight into the future is limited to the next 30 days, and his knowledge is vague at best. If a successful proficiency check is made, the astrologer can foresee some general event, a great battle, a friend lost, a new friendship made, etc.
So do I need to ask a question, or is it just on like a general person?
That would be a general person, I guess. So go.
Okay.
Whose future do you want to read?
I guess my mother's. And would I just roll a 1d100 for that?
No. A proficiency check. So astrology. What
I
is
think
it?
is
Your proficiency
intelligence
check on
-2. I'm wanting to say. Religion. Yeah, or wisdom -2. Oh crap, that's
What is it?
Wisdom -2.
All right, make me that check. The next 30 days, you get a great change will occur.
30 days.
Well, it will read out for the next 30 days.
Yeah.
So the next 30 days of her life, somewhere in there, a great change is coming.
Brother,
maybe.
sister, uncle. The stars are vague tonight, but they indicate change is coming, and it is tied to our mother.
I think that's rather obvious, brother. But I'm glad that the
Indeed.
stars can confirm
I
that.
believe further change than what there already is. The stars are not speaking of today, but they are speaking of the near future.
I was about to say, that's very vague, and the stars speak to you, really?
The stars speak to us all if we'll just listen.
You have to.
I'll tell you.
Speak one day.
I believe.
I'll tell you one change. If Mother's sight is not restored, then our house is threatened, as we have no source of income.
We will survive.
You do realize that I've been like providing for everyone since I was 14, you know?
You're providing a sort of cake or bakery goods is probably not what we need to keep the house running. But thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
We will surpass all that is around us. When it is all said and done, little brother, Wadsworth will be eating from our hands.
Be that as may, we need to make sure that we can feed ourselves first. But yes.
All right. And I think on that note, we will end our session for today. Your house has been changed. You're in a prickly situation, and you have you have found and then lost the people who are responsible for the blinding of your mother and the breadwinner of your household. So we'll pick up next Sunday, which is the 25th of September. Good job today, guys. Let's dole out some experience if I can find my books. While I'm calculating experience, you guys have anything you'd like to say? Any last words? Experience.
Oh, Neil, I did have one question in terms of the city overall, if possible. Do the general populace know that, well, obviously the crops are failing, but also that the population is dwindling?
Yeah.
Is that pretty obvious?
That's very obvious.
What's the general feeling within the town about that then?
About the population falling?
Yeah, and they're going to shit.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's just kind of... Like, the world's going to shit. No one's happy about it. Everyone's miserable. The falling town population, it's not like it's plummeting, but it is lessening. Doesn't stand out any more than the problems with food or the problems with law enforcement or the problems with whatever. Like, life is just hard.
General hardness rather than crisis.
Yeah, because it's been a state of crisis for 60 years almost. And after so many years of crisis, it just becomes the general shittiness.
So are people more resilient, or are they more beaten down by that?
You get a little bit of both. Some people are really beaten down. Some people are quite resilient. Some people have found a way to make a living in such a shitty situation.
But still a pretty extreme response probably either way.
Okay. So, why don't we do no combat experience today? Did some interesting things, so let's do. You found the lair. I shouldn't say the lair, but you found where the Longclaw gang was hanging out. You learned their names. You learned the information about some of those members. Let's add some more for that. You ran from combat. So I guess the Longclaw gang gets experience for defeating...
didn't run from combat.
But they get experience for defeating Amy and Jonathan.
Hey, initiative was never rolled, Neil.
You don't always need to roll initiative for that sort of thing. We're still kind of in the middle of a bunch of things. We didn't quite wrap up anything, so the experience is going to be a little bit low.
They kind of ran away from us too, didn't they? Yeah, went back into the kitchen. We brought the boys, and they were gone.
And out the back door.
So can we both get experience? Both parties get experience for that?
Let's just call it a wash. No experience for either one.
If only I'd seen the rear exit.
That 5 perception. Must have been the right side of your face that you couldn't see out of very well. Alright, so why don't we say 300 experience for everyone in the party, and we will see what happens next week.
Are we doing 10% bonus as well?
Yes, if you have your prime requisites, go ahead and take your 10%.
So like everyone in the party except for me.
Oh, is it? Jonathan, do you have prime requisites? No, you've only got 116. I think Bard's prime requisites are what the hell are Bard prime requisites?
It's either Dex or Charisma, right?
Prime requisites for Bard are Dex and Charisma.
I don't have it in Dex.
both.
You know what? The only person that has their prime requisites is actually Torin.
All right.
All right, so Torin gets 10% experience bonus for his ridiculous strength. And that's that. We'll see you guys next week for more Age of Strife, and if you guys stick around, in about an hour, we will be doing shenanigans with Rob and Maggie. So, see you guys later. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay.